Warrior, listen up and listen good. I want to talk about Pieper Lewis. Who's Pieper Lewis? Pieper Lewis, Iowa teen, black girl. Let's put our cards on the table. Let's be realistic about everybody, with everybody about all of this. Victim of sex trafficking. Why am I talking about Pieper Lewis? Because so much happened to this teen, and it was like she was born and never had a chance. And there are a lot of Pieper Lewises out there. But let's get into the facts about Pieper Lewis and what I need you to do and what I want you to know. So Pieper, born into dysfunction, put into foster care after foster care after foster care, where she was repeatedly trafficked. Now we're a family program, but she was abused beyond belief. Not only that, as a teenager, she was trafficked. And with her trafficker, she endured at 15 years old. And I'm cleaning up the story because, we got the algorithm police or whatever you want to call it here. She endured 3 days of terror of being drugged and violated. Okay? The third day she snapped and she unalived her trafficker. Okay? But what happened to Pieper as a victim, as a minor, as a child? She was blamed. She was held accountable. So a group of organizations across the United States right now are supporting vulnerable women and children in the sex trade to recognize Pieper and all victims. I want you to hear this, so please listen up. Pieper is a survivor of a child sex trafficking. Now, what happened to her? She grew up, I'm going to go back and reiterate this. From the moment she was born, it seems like Pieper never had a chance. Violence, abuse, trafficking. But in this case, she had been, at the age of 15, so repeatedly abused and trafficked and handed off. It's like she was never in school. She was never anything, right? Foster care. She unalived her trafficker at 15 and ran away. But what happened is, of course, she agreed in 2022 to involuntary manslaughter. She was put in jail still as a minor. And then, to clean up the story a little bit, fast forward, she was put in a home, a group home with really, that's another program, dumping kids into these homes, which we've heard they are not supervised, they are re-traumatized, they are re-trafficked. She ran away with no money, no anything. And then they got her on a parole violation, and now they want to keep Pieper Lewis in jail another 20 years and forcing her to make restitution to the trafficker who unalived her. She unalived him, I should say. I'm getting worked up in talking about this story because there's so many Pieper Lewises out there you never hear about, right? That we hear about, the warriors, and there's no help for them. And the justice system is upside down, and there's an imbalance. And where is the justice for these little girls and boys? Okay, so I'm angry. So bear with me. She's ordered to pay restitution in the amount of something like $150,000 to the family of the trafficker. Like for lost wages or something. How crazy is this? So, while Pieper's involvement with the criminal justice system reflects the consequences of abuse inflicted upon her, she has also really remained so resilient and wants to speak out and warn other girls and seek help for them. It's funny because I was on the phone last night with somebody, a survivor, and I'm not going to name names or anything like that. It's a very well-known case that's been dominating the headlines now forever, okay? And she was telling me how she would go to law enforcement and they would treat her as the criminal. And therefore she was scared. She was also a kid and nobody believed her. And listen, we are pro law enforcement. We work with law enforcement. We love our law enforcement. But until the education, the resources, there's a complete understanding we're all on the same page across this country, this is going to continue. So we're urging the courts right now, Pieper Lewis, at age 19, still a baby, right? Legally an adult. has been through so much trauma in her life. She cannot be going back to prison for 20 years. She cannot be paying restitution to the family of her trafficker who benefited, I believe, from his trafficking of her and perhaps others. I'm going to put this petition online that we're asking everybody to sign. And you may not be an organization like the Warriors or others, but where it says organization, you can just put self-organization, because we need names. We need to present to the courts petitions that the public is behind Pieper Lewis and all the Pieper Lewises. But this is just in 2026. I can't believe we're having a repeat of get rid of the victim. What about the one who perpetrated all of this in the beginning and was profit over people, making money? She saw no money, Pieper. She was just psychologically damaged, because I get that always, why don't they run away? Why don't they report it? I just told you, somebody from a very well-known case. Begins with the letter E. I think you know where I'm going with that. She tried years ago, several times, and she was made to look like the criminal, right? There is psychological abuse and damage. Running, somebody like a Pieper. Running to where when you have no money? You never went to school. She ended up on a bus stop, Pieper. She had no money. That's where she was apprehended again, on a bus stop. A kid. Where is the compassion? Where is the justice, and where is the law? So while we have all this chaos going on in our country, let's focus, let's stay in our lane, let's get going on this one. Because this can happen to anybody. And there's so many vulnerable kids out there that nobody's talking about. And we want to talk about them. We want to help them, but we want to change the system. So please, I'll post the petition. You can sign onto it. We need names. We need just numbers. And let's go. Because our precious kids, like I've said for years, there is a war on for our children. And in 2026, we're going to make a dent. And we're going to stop this particular war. And we're going to empower our kids. And you know what? Communities we're going to empower, because remember, it all trickles down. Kids that are vulnerable can't grow up to be adults that are productive. Vulnerable communities, let's talk about it. Community Creates Change is our Warriors hashtag. We want all of you to join. It's free in all of this, because maybe you don't have a child, but you could have a grandchild, you have a sibling that has a child, you have neighbors, you have friends that have children. It's about collective America and empowering. Let's do it. Let's end this war on our children. Let's come together, and let's all wake up each and every day and be a warrior. LynnsWarriors.org is the place to be. Thanks.